On May 5th, day 3 of their search, a soldier spots a charred shred of a blanket in a shell hole. Below, he finds a corpse, burned beyond recognition. There's only one way to know if it's really Hitler: the teeth. Smearsh officers scurry around war-torn Berlin in search of Hitler's dental teeth.
It was fairly extraordinary, if not close to miraculous, that they tracked down the assistant to Hitler's personal dentist.
The assistant draws this picture of Hitler's teeth from memory. It's a match. It seems the corpse is Adolf Hitler. 60 years later, when the Russians finally open their archives, the world is stunned to discover they still have those teeth. Are they really Hitler's? German forensic biologist Dr. Mark Benecki is the first non-Russian scientist to get a close look.
These are the worst teeth that I've ever seen.
So many have handled the teeth, DNA tests would likely be inconclusive. But Benecki has a way to check to see if they truly belong to Hitler. He has x-rays of Hitler's head from 1944, the year before he died.
Here on the top you can see something very interesting. You see that there's a kind of a bright spot, whereas everything else is very dense. So the reason is maybe, or most likely, that it's the dental work that you can see here.
If the teeth are Hitler's, they must have pained him terribly. By the time he died, his dentist had replaced nearly all of them with gold bridgework.
The only teeth that we are 100% certain that were there were the 4 teeth in the front and the bottom. These ones.
But the dense metal makes for easy identification. It shows up as white shadows on the x-rays.
One very massive structure is this huge metal bridge. It looks like, a little bit like a U shape. This is exactly what you have here. These are definitely Hitler's teeth. That is 100% certain.
The teeth prove Adolf Hitler is dead. And they are just part of the evidence the Russians have kept hidden for decades. In 1946, when the KGB re-examined Hitler's grave, they found something extraordinary. A fragment of skull. The Russians still have that, too. And it offers a clue to another riddle: how Hitler died. In their autopsy, Russian doctors found glass in Hitler's mouth, a sign he bit down on an ampule of cyanide. But to Benecki, the hole in the skull is evidence of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
This could very well be an exit hole, not the entrance hole, but the exit hole. The part of Hitler's skull that is left at the State Archive is on the back, on the left side. The trajectory of the bullet must have been coming from down a little bit to the side.
The new forensics and the testimony of Hitler's former aides bring us closer than ever to solving the mystery of Adolf Hitler's death. Hitler's phone operator, SS officer Rochus Misch, is the only surviving witness to what happened that day. On the afternoon of April 30th, 1945, Hitler and Eva Braun are left alone, with 2 loaded pistols and vials of poison.
We were all quiet. Everyone just listened. And then somebody called, "I think it is time." After the door was open, I saw Hitler and Eva. She was lying on the couch. I still remember this image today.
Eva Braun had taken poison. Most believed Hitler shot himself, but neither Misch nor any other witnesses actually examined him. Could he have also swallowed cyanide, as the Russians claim?
Hitler was so terrified of being captured by the Russians, not wanting to leave anything to chance, he decided to do the 2 things simultaneously: shooting himself and taking the poison.
The poison may not have killed Hitler instantly.
Cyanide kills you because it attaches itself to parts of the blood usually used to get the oxygen that you breathe in into your system. Your body continues to breathe very deeply, like very, very deeply, but it doesn't help you anymore.
Hitler may still have had time to pick up his pistol and fire. Adolf Hitler never tried to flee Berlin. He continued his wanton path of destruction until he brought down everything he claimed to hold dear, even Germany.
He actually believed that Germany should die with him. He was its incarnation. He was going to commit suicide. Germany should die too.
Even Hitler's last orders called for destruction of his own body. Aides, now deceased, have described what happened. The men carry Hitler's corpse to the garden above the bunker. They soak it with 50 gallons of gasoline. Their orders are to cremate it completely, so Stalin can never put it on display. But with war raging just beyond the garden walls, the men are forced to take shelter before the job is done. From the bunker garden, Hitler's body begins a bizarre, decades-long odyssey. Retired KGB agent Sergei Kondrashov has only recently come forward to explain that mystery and why he helped hide the truth for 50 years.
At that time, there were people who did not want to give up finding the remains and maybe erecting a shrine.
The Red Army stashes Hitler's remains in an ammunition box and buries them. But they fear someone might find the body. It becomes a proverbial hot potato. When the soldiers switch bases, they dig Hitler up, and they take him with them. Hitler is exhumed and reburied as many as 8 times. Not until 1970 does Adolf Hitler disappear for good, when Russia abandons these military barracks in Magdeburg, Germany, where he is buried. Moscow orders Sergei Kondrashov, now KGB chief in East Berlin, to dig up Hitler one last time.
The boxes were finally removed, burnt to the state of ashes, and thrown into the sewer.
From there, an East German river carried Adolf Hitler out to sea.